Hey guys, hope you're doing well. After 3 days of playing MWZ, I want to draw a conclusion. This is a really nice game. Just don't turn off the video. I will explain why I changed my mind about MWZ. My most basic conclusion is that MWZ and DMZ are two different games. At first I thought that the developers were just trying to sell us zombies instead of DMZ, but this is not so. Everyone knows that the main difference is PvP and PvE, but these two games should be in Call of Duty. Zombies won't replace DMZ, but it's a cool mode that gets you into the game in its own way. Secondly, in 3 days of playing I did not meet a single toxic player. I repeat, not a single one. If for some reason I was killed, I wrote in the chat and literally a couple of minutes later another player or team came to me to revive me. This is a big plus and difference from the DMZ, since in the DMZ everyone is trying to kill each other and loot each other, and in MWZ players cannot loot one another, and in the same way, 90% of the players will play until the end of the game, and will definitely not leave you if you didn't do anything stupid. This surprised me very much, and for 3 days I did not have rage, as happens in the DMZ. Thirdly, MWZ does not seem difficult. Literally 1 day of playing with other players in the team will give you the opportunity to learn all the basic features of MWZ. There are many tasks in MWZ, and they will last you for a long time. Fourthly, on the map you have 3 types of difficulty available, and this is very cool. I don't want to compare the DMZ because I repeat that these are two different modes. But there is nothing else to compare with, so I will say this: if you are new to the DMZ, it will be difficult for you, since experienced players and armored bots can play against you. In MWZ, on the reverse, there are 3 zones on the map: easy, medium, and hard difficulty. For example, on the first day of the game I only played in the first zone. It was easy for me, and I was able to learn many mechanics normally. Besides, the first zone allows you to quickly collect money on contracts, which are easy to complete moving further around the map. Now let's talk about pros and cons. And for me, pros. The game is being updated, PvE mode, a huge map with 3 types of difficulty, many new missions and tasks, many new in-game mechanics, and they are really interesting. Finally, you can add armor plates and shoot back. Many new weapons, additions and skins for them. I don't know whether this is a plus or not, but the third-person view looks good, although I don't use it, but it's an additional feature that was missing for variety. Cons. You cannot pause or turn on protection to leave. The game lasts at least 45 minutes, and during this time anything can happen, and zombies will be everywhere. It is very difficult to hide. In DMZ I could simply hide somewhere in the house and quietly leave, but in MWZ this is almost impossible to do. Glitches. I never understood those who like to use glitches. Why? Let's say you cloned a lot of money for yourself, you bought everything you needed, and is this interesting? Optimization of the game. This is probably the most stable thing in Call of Duty. Crashes almost every game. Playing as a team, we could not get into the portal. We were simply thrown into the main menu. Easy missions. In 3 days I completed Act 2 solo. I couldn't complete only one mission and I had to go through it again. This is the final mission of Act 2. The first time I went unprepared and the zombies simply killed me. The second time they didn't have a chance. I didn't like that every new game you have to spend 10 to 15 minutes on the same process. For example, in the DMZ you can either appear with full loot and play or look for loot. And in MWZ, even if you have equipment and weapons, then you still need to earn money, look for upgrades, and so on. It gets boring, or rather, sometimes it's just too lazy to do it all every time, since the cooldown for already unlocked upgrades is 2 hours. I'm not a bore, but I remember reading that some players complained that they were too lazy to look for items for barter. What can we say about MWZ? Every game is almost anew. Compared to Uzbekistan, Al-Mazrah looks much more interesting. Well, the contracts, in my opinion, are very boring and poorly optimized. In general, I like MWZ. It has its pros and cons. There is no perfect game. There are games that need work. I really hope that the developers will add DMZ to Warzone 3. Because DMZ is a unique mode, it cannot be replaced by another mode, it just needs to be adapted. It seems to me that the developers will soon understand this, namely when MWZ begins to bore many people. Many have already seen the players' statistics compared to last year. Activision has lost almost half of the players, and if the developers do not do everything that the players ask for in one ecosystem, I think that there will be a competitor who can satisfy this audience. To play or not to play, to buy or not to buy, is your decision. I bought this game on sale for $45 and have no regrets. I tried the zombie mode and liked it. I haven't played the campaign yet, most likely it will be when I get tired of the zombie mode. I hope that my review will be useful to those who have not yet decided. So guys, happy holidays, I wish you a good mood and see you in DMZ and in MWZ.